Hi, my name is Preet Jain, and I'm going to be speaking on behalf of Group 5 in the DFP course this semester. We've developed a Soccer One platform, a platform that helps Fantasy Premier League managers use data-driven insights to build up their game day lineup. So to jump into the code, we have a live scraper, and as you can see, we've already scraped all the data. Instead of killing we request you not to kill the terminal here because we have a live scraping happening every day at 1:30 p.m. So all you need to do is go to mainmenu.py and run it. So when you run it, you get our main menu. So we've developed 4 different analytics and we have 4 different data sources. The first one is the FIFA index. The second one is the Fantasy Premier League website itself. The third one is a website that gives us the fixtures of the season. And the fourth one is Google News that talks about the number of times a certain player has been featured. So I'm going to jump right in and show you what happens when we click on team for this game day. So as you can see, it takes us into the web browser and shows us the different plots. These plots represent the points per game versus cost by position. So here you can see we have all the forwards. Then we have the midfielders, the defenders, and the goalkeepers. If you hover over different dots, you can get more information about each player, the name, the expected points per game, and their cost. And we've used this to basically show the user who are the top players to choose from. And then now to go back to the menu, we also provide advanced analytics for the team. So again, I'm going to click on one, which again opens up a web browser with 4 different plots. So here we're talking about the form versus cost by position again, and it's the same idea of being able to hover around and seeing each player and some more statistics about them. In the second one, we talk about the value season versus cost. Then we talk about the total points they've achieved this season versus cost. And the fourth one is the ICT index versus cost. The ICT stands for influence, creativity, and threat. And these are some of the major parameters we've used in coming up with the top players when we recommend our top 15 for the game day weekend. So now to go back to the menu, we can again get more information about the team for this game day. So here I'm going to be showing our recommendation for the top 15 players. And as you can see, our menu shows the list of players, the position they play in, and the expected points they have for this weekend. And then if you see, we also generate a plot breaking down the expected points by player. And as you can see, it's easier for the user to visualize and understand which player will earn them the most number of points. And it also gives you the total number of points that will be earned this weekend, which is about 85. Now, we have another menu in one where we talk about the recommended team position analytics. So when I run this, we can see which players we've selected from the top 30 players that we showed before. This allows the user to understand, gives the user a story of understanding, okay, what is the cost and points per game that is the most valuable. And based on this, we've picked our top 15. Okay, we also have a few pie charts talking about the analytics of the entire team. So for the forwards, we have different different characteristics that they have. So forwards need to have a good shot power, headers, and we basically break that down. And as you can see, it's pretty well spread out in terms of the characteristics that each player has, that the team together has. And same for midfielders, And we've also done this for the defenders and goalkeepers. So it gives the user a quite intuitive environment and helps them build a story for themselves. Next, we're going to be talking about player comparison. Here you can compare two different players and even just understand the qualities of one single player. So I'm going to pick forward in this case because I like to look at forward statistics. So as you can see, these are the top 30 players. You just need to select the index of the player that you're interested in. So I'm going to pick Harry Kane. So 0. And now that gives me his spider chart, which with different parameters. So he's a forward player, so his shooting obviously has to be really good. His ball skills have to be good, but he's not so good in defense. Now I'm going to ask the user if he wants to compare. So I hit Y, and then now I'm going to select which player I want to compare against. So I'm going to select Romelu Lukaku, which is index number 1. Now what it does is it plots the qualities of two players on one single spider chart. So now I can understand which player is better and then make a decision for myself. Now I'm going to go back to the main menu. The next analytic we have is the fixtures complexity and win prediction. So here we've downloaded the fixtures for the season that each team has, and we're predicting the difficulty that they're going to have in the next 5 game days. So Arsenal, for example, is playing Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is playing away, and as you can see on the legend, it's an easy game for Arsenal because they're historically they've done well against Crystal Palace. But if you see Norwich City, which is not so great a team, has only difficult games coming up, as can be seen by the legend. So again, this gives the user a good chance to understand, okay, if he's selecting a player who's playing against who's from Burnley and playing against Manchester City, he might understand that he might not do that well compared to if they were playing Southampton. Now, the last thing that we have is the players featured on the news. So this was something that we added so that players who do not have much experience with the Premier League, they can learn about the best players who are out there. So when you run forward, you can see the number of times a player has been mentioned in the news, and Cristiano Ronaldo here has been mentioned the most number of times because he recently transferred back to the Premier League, and he is probably one of the best players in the world. So yeah, and then after this, you just need to quit the Python shell, and then you can continue running your code. And I'm just going to exit because we're done using it. Thank you so much.